Hi, everybody. Tiana, are we starting or you?
Yes, we are. Hi, everyone.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about digital signatures today, and I'm really excited because I think it is a wonderful part of GovReports. So we are always fortunate to have Tiana Tran with us because she's going to answer, I should say, all of the hard questions. Hi, Tiana.
Hi, Deborah.
Okay,
Thank
my name
you.
is Deborah Thompson and I'm a BAS agent. So hopefully I will give all of the accountants that are present good information as well as the BAS agents. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the digital authentication app that is external and within GovReports. So let's just begin. It is really important in these days of cybersecurity that you do need to look at having your digital signatures so that they are an integral part of the cybersecurity and just give you that a bit of confidence that when you send things for signatures, people aren't having to print, sign it, rescan it, send it back to you. It's all going to be taken care of, and it is definitely going to be much more secure than if they were scanning and printing the documents. It's also really quick, and you can even do it on your desktop machine, on your mobile, or on your mobile phone. So that really is very quick and easy, because if you are receiving the documents in an email electronically, then you don't need any of the printing or anything that you can just put them straight back in through GovReports and send them off for a signature. So when you actually log in to GovReports, you often see this screen. And what we want is the actual digital authentication. And you can go into it directly. And I think sometimes a lot of people don't realize that they actually can go into the app and look at the app without going through GovReports, or they can do it through GovReports. So when you log on, you have that choice of logging on through GovReports or the digital authenticator. So when you log in to GovReports, which we will see the screen in the next slide, you can go to the App Center, which is the top right apps menu, and click on that, and then that will take you in to the separate browser. And this is the top part of the screen that will appear once you open up the digital authentication. So this is if we are already have gone into GovReports and we want to look at the digital authentication. We go up to the right hand top, pick the digital authentication, and it opens. And generally it does open on all documents. So you always have your documents sitting there ready for you to look at, for you to work with. So after you've logged in, what you're looking at, the overview on the top toolbars of the digital authentication, is you got your documents, your contacts, your signatures, and your messages, and uh, always the green button when you're looking at the digital authenticator. The green button is usually your action buttons for you to do something. And you then have another uh, toolbar with all of these, which I will go into the next screen to show you all of those. And there's quite a lot. So obviously you can choose to see all documents, or you can choose to go into each particular area and just see the documents that are relevant to that. So if they've been sent, if they're in draft, so they aren't finished yet, if you've got actions that are required, so there is, say, a pending signature that you need to remind the client that they haven't yet signed. The pending signatures, if it's signed, if you just want to look at all the documents that have been signed. So again, perhaps, the first thing in the morning, you might go in there and look at all of those signed documents so that you know perhaps some of the work that you've got to do that day. Looking at expiring documents, again, to remind clients you haven't signed this. Is there something that we need to do? Is there something wrong? Or could you just, please sign it and send it back? Expired documents, so if they do forget to sign it, so that again you will have to create that new document to send them and say, look, this is expired, you're now overdue, you're late with your documents lodging, so you need to let us know what's happening. Then if they've declined to sign, so for whatever reason they've decided that perhaps there's something wrong with it that they think they needed to ask you about, and they haven't yet got round to it. And then there are the archive documents. So for example, perhaps when clients that you're not seeing anymore, or that they've been expired and what have you, but you want to keep them on the system, you can archive them. So when we're in here, as you see, it gives you the title of what was being done with regarding the documents, tells you whether it's draft or whether it's been signed or whether it's expired. It gives you the information on when it was last modified, and it gives you who the sender is of the email, and you have the button there to continue. So if they're in draft, they're always going to say continue because you haven't finished with the documents yet. And so it allows you to go in there. If it's signed, then you can view it, and the same with the expired. You can have a look at that, or you can jump into each of these sections if you only want to have a look at, for example, the pending signatures because you want to deal with those. You can create contacts within the digital authenticator. Obviously, you can create the contacts in your GovReports, and it will flow through as you do um, documents, but you can go directly into the digital authentication app and create your contacts there. And that has a great advantage in that you can create documents within the digital authenticator. Now, if you've got all your documents here and what have you, and you don't see that other toolbar there is a menu button which you can use the down arrow, and it will give you the documents, the contacts, the signatures, the messages. And so you can just go directly to contacts and create a contact. Now, another wonderful thing I think that is available for you as tax agents is to be able to create a security code for each client. So what it allows you to do is to create a 6-digit security code for every client that you need. So it can be, if you are starting with digital authentication, it can be a great idea perhaps to even create the contacts directly into the digital authenticator app. So you go to the menu on that top toolbar and you go down to contacts. So to do that, when you open the contacts, what you'll see is there's a new contact button. It then opens up the screen for you to put in the contact name, the email address that you will be using for that contact, and it gives you the opportunity to add a 6-digit security code. Now, that security code could be something like you ask the clients what's their eldest child's birthday, something easy for them to remember. It also means that you can come back into the system and change it every 6 months, or designate someone to change it every 6 months, so that again you're making sure that cyber security, that if they have given it away to somebody else, you've got a new security code on it. And as you can see there, you can still have clients without security codes and clients with security code. So it's very versatile in that way. Obviously, if you are going to be doing everything digitally, what you don't want to do is have to be printing things and then signing them and then scanning them, because that's what we're trying to do away with. We're trying to protect, that little bit of security again. So you can put signatures within the software. So again, you go to that menu button, go down to signatures, and you can open that up. When you select the menu, as I said, select signatures, then select change or edit. for the signature or the initials, or, of course, have put it in the first place. Now, what you'll find is when you do change, and if this little statement here is for when I'm changing the initials, because you'll again see that in the next screen, that you understand that the initials created will be used as an electronic representation of my initials for the purpose of authorizing documents using GovReports digital authentication. So that is basically when you hit save, you've basically acknowledged that. So to change that, we go into our signatures, we click on what it is we want to change. We can even change the color of them so that they can be whatever color suits you. And again, initials can be for when you have separate pages and you just want someone to initial, like they might be signing the document, but if it's a 6-page document, you want to just have the initials there so that they are acknowledged that they did read them. Then the next tab along, if you like, was the messages, and you can create templates. This is really great so that you can have very professional looking templates for your emails that obviously you don't want to have to recreate every time you want to do an email. So you can have 10 messages there, and to create a new message, obviously it is the new message, again, the green box, and it allows you to have 10 which probably cover most of the jobs that you would be asking people what documents to be signed. So again, you go to new messages and it comes up with a title, so you can title it, and I've just titled this one Standard Activity Statement. Then the subject, again, I've just put BAS for ease of quickness, but you can have whatever you like in there as the subject, and then you have the whole document in there and save it. And so that's another authority or message that you have there set up as a template. You can also sign a document and add documents when you are using the digital authenticator. So you can sign them directly via the digital authenticator app. So it's really great if you have things sent to you that you need to sign, because what it again allows you is that you don't have to print it and sign it and scan it. You are able to, to bring that document in however you receive it electronically, and then import the document into the digital authenticator and sign them and then send them back to the appropriate person. And what it gives you is a permanent record of who signed it from within your business, and uh, the date and time, and also what activity has happened. So that's what this little screen is here. It's who signed the document and the date and time that they've signed it and the activity. So it really gives you that great permanent record. And with the changes with the TPB and their quality management systems that they're expecting us all to have, this really gives you tight control and proof there of when documents were sent. And so if there's any question like I never got the document or what have you, you have proof of where you sent it, who you sent it to, and the time and date. So when you're signing a document, again, you can go to the new document and you have the choice to send a document or sign it. And what the advantage is of this is that you can bring in different documents, whatever you need, if you need some authorization. Now, I haven't done a very flash document, but if someone has sent me this, I'm able to put my signature in there, put my name, put the date, whatever they have asked me to do as part of signing that. And when I hit finish, it actually then brings up the email address who I want to send it back to. So it gives me, the opportunity to send it back to the appropriate person who has asked me to sign this document. I can again make a template for that and put in that information, and I send it back, and I have all of my proof that yes, I received the document and yes, I signed it within the proper time and I sent it back to you. So again, reviewing all the documents. Here I am again in all documents, and I can go to the different jobs, if you like, that I want to do. So again, my draft documents are going to be continue because they're not finished with. My signed, I can have a look here and I can view the document with my signed document, and the same with all of these. So then when I open it up, what you see is giving me all the details of what it is. It's a company tax return for what period that it is. It is giving me, there is the document attached, there is who signed it and when, and here is the letter that I had sent. Now, it also allows me to view those documents in detail or to actually download the documents, and I can download them as a combination. So they're all the documents that I sent in that email that have come back are together. I can have them in a zip file. Again, if you want to save them somewhere else, that you keep them on your server or what have you, or I can just separately download those PDFs if I have reports that I want to put in certain places. And again, this is what I see when I'm looking at the signature. So these are the two documents that were in that email, one which was the certificate of completion and then the company tax return. Obviously, they're a bit late with their tax return. I can change and I can send documents directly from the digital authenticator as well. So if I have a draft document, I hit continue, and again, it comes up with my email, and I have the option of actually including a new document as well. So I have both documents there. I can pick again my template that I have set up. I have got the who it's going to and the security code, and I can go to next. Now, again, on this document, I just want a signature there, or it could be an initial for them to actually, acknowledge that they have seen the document. And then the second document, I have a little bit more to fill in. So you have the opportunity to fill in information from yourself. So you'll see it says sender, fill and sign. And then the other one is just fill and sign, which is what you want signed by the person that you are sending it to. And so you're able to just bring over those tabs. Now, keep in mind that GovReports is always updating. So there will, look out for there will be updates to all of this and the usability of it. So definitely that will be coming as well. But you certainly can use that email again, just so that if they don't sign everything where it's asking for signatures, then it won't let them finish the document. So it means that you're not going to get documents back and go, oh, well, I haven't signed this, I'm going to send it to them again. So that's really a great use of the facility. Takes a little moment to think about it, and it sends my document away, and it's fine. And now I have a record that it's been sent, and it'll be a pending signature. If you need to remove a document that, for whatever reason, perhaps you've, had it set up there as a draft, and then you realize that, oh no, I need to do some more work on it or something, you can come in to the digital authenticator and mark the item. So here you can just put a cross there, and then you'll see that there is that delete button. So you can delete it and have it removed. So if it's further advanced, that it's been signed and different things like this, it's obviously not going to be deleted, because you need to keep that information, especially if you have lodged documents because of it. And so that's where you would archive it rather than removing it. Now, all of those, Tiana, is there anything that you want to, questions or anything
Yeah.
that you want to add?
So if we go back to that last slide,
Yes.
um, so we have the delete and void options on that screen. So once you send it off, if you have sent off the document for signing, I would recommend the void options and let the clients know why you're voiding it. So it's most often that if, say, for example, you prepare the activity statement or the tax return and then realize that, or you spoke to the client and there has been some change on the actual report, then you would say void because there has been a change on the activity statements or the tax return that you prepare, and send it to them for signature. Or it might also be that the clients have recognized something is not right and advised you that there is a change. They forgot the bank statements, or the bank interest, and now they need to include that in the tax return. And then you need to, and if you're going back to change the report, obviously the document that you initially sent out is no longer required. That's when you use the option void, and you can say that, the reasons for the voiding the documents is because there has been a change on the actual report. Delete will not give the clients the notification of why the document has been deleted. The only where so when the if the clients try to log back in and try to sign the document is not there. Rather than, so that's what I the difference between the two, the void and delete. Void is when you want, you make changes on the actual report that you sent out for signature, and the document is no longer valid. Delete is, and it will send the clients the notification that it has been void and they can no longer access to the document. Delete will not give them that options. So just choose between correctly between the two options.
Thank you, Tiana. Yeah, so delete really is only when it's in a draft mode that you haven't yet
Mm,
sent. Would that be correct?
yeah. Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we've talked about doing everything within digital authentication. Now, you don't have to do everything there. You can actually do things through GovReports, and I imagine that probably a lot of you are already doing that. That you're using them to, to put a digital authentication for an e-signature on things like the BAS, or STP, if you're having to go in and get them to report, to authorize, STP every month. Um, but so the sorts of things that generally that you may be doing through GovReports is requesting, as I said, the client to sign the document for lodgement. You might be creating clients without security codes, which you can then go back into the digital authenticator to actually add a security code if you need that. You can add additional documents when sending. So you can still add additional documents when you are sending them something for lodgement. You can set up and send documents, for example, engagement letters, proposals, ethical letters. All of that can be done within GovReports, and then it flows through to the digital authenticator. So when you do go to lodge documents via GovReports, if you open a document and it says draft, you will find that if you go up to the 3 lines, I'm never quite sure what they could be called, that you'll find that it isn't available to send for signature. So what it has to be is it has to be a valid document. And so the valid documents, that's what you're looking for. You won't be able to send these drafts until you turn them into a valid document to send to through digital authentication. So here is,
Just correction.
oh,
Sorry.
yes,
The draft
yeah, please.
If you really need the clients to sign off the draft, just remember it's not on will be on record, but you can download it, and you can download it in PDF and then upload it in the digital authentications site page.
Well, that's a great idea. Thank you, Tiana. That is a wonderful idea to do that, to download the document and then upload it into the digital authentication. Thanks. So what you are generally looking for if you are doing it via GovReports is you are looking for this document that says valid across here. And once you look at that, you can go over to your three lines on the right-hand toolbar and you will see that the send for signature is then available. And it will then, once you click on that, it will take you through. So here we have one that I'm going to do that. I know that it's valid. So I'm going to my send for signature. It's then opening up the digital authenticator and it is going straight to the email. And you'll see there, the document is there. You're putting in the email address that is appropriate to send. You are, do you need to sign it? Do the clients need to view it? Do they need a copy of it? Have you got your default message or is there a different message you want to put in the email? And obviously you put it to the name of the person that you are sending it to, signing it from whoever is the appropriate person to be signing it, and then you hit next. It then takes you to the document, and again, you can go through there and put the appropriate signatures. So the client needs to sign it and needs to date it, because often they'll sign it and not date it. And once you've got it ready, then you hit send, and it is going to the client for sending and will end up on that all documents list telling you that it is a pending signature. So if you want to actually send the returns, and while you're sending that document, whatever return it is, whether it's a BAS or what have you, while you're sending that document, you want to actually attach some extra documents to it, you are able to do that as well via GovReports. So again, you go send for signature. It takes you to the digital authenticator. We go through the same process, but this time we're going to add a document. So I'm just going to drop a document in here and I'm going to make sure that I've got all of the information that I need, sending it to the right person, just the same as I did previously. I'm going to next, and now I've got two documents that I am able to set up so that everything is signed the way I want it to be. It has a little moment to think. It will come up in that moment. Now this is a tax return. So when I scroll down as a income tax agent, then I also need to make sure that I put my signatures on there. So first of all, I set up the client where the client needs to be signing the document. And then I scroll down to the tax agent's declaration and I am signing that through the send, fill and sign. And so it's going to fill in the information that you have set up already as a signature and the date. And if it is a very long document, as I said, you could put initials to each. Now, what I've done is I've asked for the clients for their authority to do the final STP event. So again, I am choosing where I want information. So I need the signed, the signature, I need their name, and I need the date. So it allows me to add that in. And again, I'm not having to send 10 emails to a client. I can send 2 or 3 emails with returns so that they can sign it all in one document and it's all done and completed. Tiana, is there anything that you want to add?
There's a question from Sue
Yep.
and Natalia. So first question from Sue: what is the attachment tab under the client's file? Can we save the docs here? The
Um,
attachment tabs. Okay, can you go back to the last screen, the first screen?
this one? Is this the screen you've...
No. So on digital authentication, there's an attachment tabs. I think that's where we talk on under the client's file.
Right.
Not too sure. So just go to send for
Wait a minute.
signature and then click where it's valid.
What about if I go back to there? Does that...
No, attachments in the client file. It is not on the digital authentication. When you go to the clients menu,
I'm
and
not
then
It's
when
actually in
you
the
on
come to
the
the
software,
client
PDF.
so
profile, there should be an attachment.
I'm not in the... okay, now I've lost where I was.
Right.
Let me just...
Okay. It's
I
in
think I was...
GovReports client tab.
Right. I can answer that. Don't worry. Okay. So that attachments, you can add any client documents. So it doesn't matter what format it is. You can attach into the client's profile, but that will be stored in the Google Drive or in the Dropbox. To have that settings enabled, you need to go to the settings and then document settings. You need to enable the access. Once you enable, you can attach any kind of client related documents, attachments that you can add it to the client's profile.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
And the
don't
next
have the
question is for
screens. Yeah, sorry. Go
that's okay.
ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Natalia has a questions. Financial statements. I can save them first as PDF, then add to signing. There is no options to currently send for signature. Send it. That might be a good idea. Natalia,
Now
currently
that's
we don't
from
have that option.
IAM. That's from IAM.
Yeah.
So
That,
financial statements that currently there is, I mean, between IAM and DA has not been integrated, but we can do that
mm,
later.
yeah. It's a good idea. Thanks, Natalia. Sorry, Deb. You can
No,
continue
no,
on now.
that's all right. That's good. I'm learning as well. So thank you. Um, so also about reminding a client, we do want to generally remind the client if they've not responded and it's marked pending signature, you can always remind the client through, you can go through the digital authentication as we have seen, but this is actually if you're going through GovReports, you select the client and you go to view document. So you actually go to here if you want to take it through to the digital authenticator so that you can remind the client regarding their signature. When you open it, this is where, so again, you see we've got 3 here that are pending signatures. So when you open one of them, you will see on here, it gives you all of the details. It's got the little strip there that tells you it's pending, gives you all of the documents, when it was sent, said it still needs to sign, tells you when the expiration date is. So it's going to finish the 28th of August. So it gives them 120 days for them to be able to sign that without you, other than you just hitting, and there is that remind button there for you to use. So when you're in the remind reminding the client, if you want to look at the detail, again, this is just the same, the individual tax return and all of the information. It's just, I've just tried to make it a little bit bigger for you to see. So again, you can still download your the documents so you can see those. And here again, if for example, as Tiana said before, that if there is a change that is needed and something, you know, something's happened that you need to change whatever the individual tax return is that you're sending, you have also have the button here to void. So you can remind, you can void, you can also view that. So if a client comes back and says, oh, I think you should look at sort of, you know, this, you can go in and view those documents. So one of the other great things that I have found using the digital authenticator is if you are using my practice and definitely with the TPB changing the way they are about their quality management system, that you have to have and have to be able, you know, to show them if they ask, where is all your records and where's, all a tracing of what you have been doing. In the My Practice, down the bottom, there is templates and letters. And so this is a really great area if you are sending engagement letters, if you're sending proposals that you want them to, their superannuation funds, you want to do something particularly different about that. Or you need to send them the ethical letters, like the disclosures. And so you are able to set up these letters within GovReports and use that as well to actually then send it to your clients. So it doesn't have to be something for lodgement. It just can be something that you want acknowledgement from, that they have seen it. So when you go into My Practice, you go into the templates and letters, you select the add letter, you choose a template. So one of these templates that are here, and of course you have the facility to set up as many templates as you need within GovReports. So you pick which one it is and you hit the start button. You then format the letter however you want. Obviously, change it so that it suits you, so that it's your engagement letter or your ethical statement or disclosures letters. You custom select to pick the client. You pick the client and add. You save the letter, which I am going to show you all the screens. You save the letter, you send for the e-signature, and then you complete the recipient's an email as normal as you do all the other things within the digital authenticator to get a signature, and then you send it. So this is the add the letter. So this is the letter that I picked, the authority in the appointment. So again, if you need it for STP, you have authorities to use their bank to take money out of their bank account or put money to their bank account, or you have the authority for you to get the refunds, that sort of thing. So you have that, as you'll see down here. It's got the preview, it's got email to the client, send for e-signature, and here where it says custom and select is where you click it to actually pick the client. So when you do that, it takes you to this screen, which is you select the client, you put a little tick in the appropriate box and hit add. And then that brings the client back to the letter that you are sending them. And you have the choice, obviously, to email it to the client. But in these days, when you do need that acknowledgement that you are sending all the things that the TPB expect us to, that send for e-signature is a great facility. So again, as I said, you start My Practice, the templates and letters, the action buttons here. So this is for letters that you've already created. And again, perhaps it's a draft, perhaps it's bending, perhaps you feel that, every 6 months you need to resend this to them so that they understand what is changing within our industry. And if you look at the three dots, which is the action buttons, again, then you can go through the whole process and send that document that is already there for you set up. So again, you could have someone else within your practice actually perhaps setting up those letters, setting up all the beginning, and then you send it for the e-signature. So you have that choice. You select send for e-signature, and you actually go through again this process that you've already seen a few times today. But this time instead, it is with a letter that you're choosing. And again, you can pick, your standard template for the document. And here, for example, we've got the document. I just want the client to acknowledge that they've seen this, which is how they do the ATO client agent linking. Then I have another document which is their authority and appointment as a tax agent. So I am going to fill in my information, my signature. I'm going to fill in my name, or my date first, the date that I'm signing it, and my name. So all of that is done. I don't have to print it out and do it. And then where do I want my client to sign it? So again, I put those signatures in the appropriate place, the date, the name. And if, for example, I want a job or whatever else I want, so there I've got the 2 pages that I need my clients. First, that could be initials, and then for them to actually sign the document that they're sending back. And so I'm able to do that and then hit send. So, Tiana, is there anything else that you want to talk about or that I haven't mentioned?
Um, okay, the applications is available, depends on how you use it. For example, with the earlier when you were showing the example of the individual tax return document, for a lot of tax agents, they want the clients to sign first before they place their own signature there. You can do that, and by sending to yourself with a different email to the one that you register with us or you log in with, and then send to yourself for signature. So when you get notifications of the client signing it, then you can go in and sign it, because sometimes when the clients do look at the documents that you prepare, and then they realize, hey, hang on a minute, maybe I haven't included this, I haven't included that, and then they contact the tax agents, they make the changes, and of course if you change the document, that report is no longer valid, and you probably have to void that document and re-prepare it. So rather than signing it off and getting signing it off before the clients, you can also do set it up in a different ways. It's just how you use it. So Deborah has shown you how the system can be used, but you have to customize it how you want. You can manipulate the system in a way that suits your workflow.
Yes, and
And
you can, and also too, Tiana, they of course can reconfigure all of the documents, and they can put them in their wording, in their practice lingo, if you like, as well, can't they?
That's correct. The templates that, and also the messages, or the messages template that you set in digital authentications, of course there are placeholders in there. So of course when you use that, it means that you can reuse it for subsequent clients, and you don't have to data entry in the clients' names, even also the payment options, if the net payment amount, etc. So it just makes it a lot more professional, and you don't have to think about it reusing each, I mean, re-enter or set it up, customize the email each and every time.
Yeah, it's really helpful, because you can add, even when you use one of the default templates, you can still add things at the bottom of that if there is something particular that you want to highlight to the client in that email. Or that's certainly what I do.
Mm, mm, good point.
Is there
Mm,
any
So
questions that we want to answer?
I think we covered it well, because there are no questions so far.
Right. So I just want to remind everybody that it is really part, to me, of the cybersecurity strategy that you want to have for your practice, because it is such an important area for us all these days. And also with, we want to make sure that the right people are getting the documents that we are sending. So the digital signatures and all of that email is being kept electronically, so that we don't have to print and scan and sign and scan and do all of that. It just cuts down the workload so much, and it is I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing myself. And also there is a user guide as well for you to look through the digital authentication. So you can certainly, and then just remind everybody that there is email support, and there is phone support, which these days is such a special thing to have. So I love the fact that I can ring up and speak to Tiana. So thank you very much for listening. Tiana, is there anything else you want to say
On
before we
that note,
finish?
I do. Sorry, Deborah. On that
Yeah.
note, I would like to add that we do have AI for support at this stage. It's very early days, so if you're using that in the middle, if you're using a report in the middle of the night and you do have a question, you can ask. You can ask a report. So it's on our website. I'm not too sure it's available within the application itself. You can ask questions and then it will give you an answer. But like I said, it's early days. The content are limited, so please be mindful. And if you're not satisfied with the answers, you can always reach out to us on the the conventions, the email options, or the telephone support.
And then, Tiana, I recommend everybody, including us, don't work 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and
But
take it easy. All right.
thank you, Tiana, for the opportunity. So
Thanks, Deborah.
I'm gonna let you finish it all.
Thanks, Deborah. Again, if you have questions outside of that we have not covered during the sessions, and and you thought about it, perhaps after the after we we get off, do not hesitate to reach out to us. Like I said, you can reach out to us on either telephone, email, or whatever the options that is convenient for you. Once again, thank you, and we look forward to see you again on our next webinar.
Bye.
Bye. Ah,